Alrighty, so we got a field walk for the last full week of July here. I'm going to start over here where our chicks are. Oh, aren't you guys noisy? So these are our littlest ones, ducks and chicks in there. And hi guys. Looks like we got at least one escapee of the bigger group of chicks, but that's okay. Not too worried. Look, there they are. There's a couple there. And those are our ducks and chicks. So there's about 10 chicks. This is the first hatching. And then the ducks. So that's where we're at with them. We're going to try to keep the chickens and ducks as separated as possible from our older ones. As much as we can, as long as we can, so we don't upset egg production. Because this year we're actually doing pretty well, keeping on a regular schedule. We're getting about, I think, 6 dozen a week. Not enough for the add-on shares, but still, it's a good amount to sell and for us. So over here, this is the cabbage we planted a couple weeks ago. We've also got kale for September later on there. More head lettuce over there. And then we've started broccoli and cauliflower and basil and cilantro for the fall as well. So this is just coming up. Let's see, let's get in the tunnel here quick. While I'm walking over there, I was gonna try to film some overhead shots because I've got a drone that I got a few years ago that can film, and I just haven't been able. Let's just say this: I'm not any good at running a drone. It keeps crashing or running out of battery or getting lost in a cornfield. So once I get that down, I'll try to get some overhead shots, at least video-wise. So this is production here in the tunnel. Lots of tomatoes. We've got 3 strung up here. The others we had, again, some water issues earlier. So they're getting there, but I'm going to finish that tomorrow once it's not almost 90 like it is today. Hey, piggies! So here's our little ones. You'll see in the newsletter that we have meat for sale now. Some goat and pork. Daisy! There's Daisy down there. Our donkey. Hi, Daisy! So the goats and the donkey are out in pasture. They've got a shelter. We've got tarps up. We're gonna try to make a more portable one, or permanent one on skids so it can move. But for now, it survived the rain and stuff earlier in the week, so, or over the weekend, whatever it was. They're all loving it out here. They pretty much get to eat all that wonderful greens all day long. I'll walk over here and show you guys the fields that got flooded and had stuff rot in them earlier in the year, starting to recover, and we're seeing growth on them. Now, harvesting from them is still going to be at least another month just because of how long things take to grow, but you can see we've got it coming. And I'll also, well, I'm going to try to walk around all the fields over here quickly. This is us tarping an area to see how it's going to affect the regrowth of grass. It's only been a week, and you all know how I'm not thrilled about plastic, but if this works, instead of having to spray or constantly till, which isn't really working, that's going to be great. So out here you can start to see, yeah, you can see rows. We got a couple rows of mixed kale greens. This one here, they aren't very full yet, but those are the beta mix greens. This here is a salad mix row right there. We've got these set up differently now because of how everything just regrows the weeds and the grass so much. If you look down here, let's see, in between these two. So if you look, we've got the kale and the mixed kale, and wow, look really close and you can see there's already flea beetles on there. So I'm going to be putting some diatomaceous earth down. Just got to check the forecast. But if you look in between here, the grass, which wasn't from seed, is coming back just as fast as the new seeds we put down. That's really the biggest problem out here right now. It just doesn't stop. And so that's what that plastic over there is for, to try to kill off those for once and for all. So here we've got a couple rows of head lettuce. The fabric's out here because we are covering them from the deer at nights. And then we got radishes and lettuce and radishes and lettuce and radishes and cucumbers and radishes and more cucumbers. Or, oh yeah, those are cucumbers. Actually, they're pickling size. And then a bunch of cucumber beds out here. And these are for September. This is just awesome. I'm going to try to get an overhead pick of this especially. Just squash like crazy. In case you didn't know, yes, squash is in season. Holy cow. There's going to be a lot of it. And so, let's see, we picked last Friday. We picked, I think, Tuesday. I think we're going to have to pick tomorrow or Friday because we've already got squash that needs to be picked. Something you'll notice in the shares is this is not just zucchini. There's patty pan squash, which is this stuff. Now, I know a lot of people ask me, why is it so big? This is not a variety that size there, the small fry up in one piece size that you see at supermarkets. These are bigger white patty pans. You can see them there. I got to get in there and pick those today. So they're more like a zucchini where you cut it up, or you could make a boat out of it and bake inside there. It's a different variety. And then you'll also see they're a little bit behind everything else. But yeah, there we go. Everybody should be getting a yellow squash too. We go further in here. Now there's winter squash as we go further in, but it's not fully developed. But you can see in here that is a delicata squash. And I've got acorns out here I saw earlier. Let's see what I can find. I want to try to be shorter here than normal. But so yeah, you can see acorn squash in there. And then spaghetti squash, and then butternut squash, and also carving pumpkins and pie pumpkins out there in the field. So this here, the setup we did with the squash is really working well. So that's good. Let me get back here and just show you guys the growth on tomatoes. It's not going to be a huge amount this week. There still is some coloring that needs to be done, but more than last week, a little bit more than last week. Let me I gotta watch my feet as I walk through here. Those radishes should be ready here in a couple weeks, so that's good. I'm gonna have to plant some more this weekend. All right. So these are our tomatoes. And you can see the teenagers working out there. Now these here fell off their supports the first round we put on, but look at the color on them, and they're just loaded. Just absolutely, holy cow. Man, we just picked all these yesterday. I'm gonna have to pick again tomorrow. I'll have to do that before shares go out. Maybe we can get quite a bit of them in there. But we've got a good 6 beds here of this good red type. And I'm going to try to get around the corner here quick. So those are Rutgers. That's one of our favorites. We got some mortgage lifters, and these are all tied up nice. You can see them up on there. Makes it so much easier to pick and keeping them off the ground. Then we get into cherries, and just look at this. They're just loaded. Every day we have to pick these cherries. We've got another bed here that they're just cleaning out. Look at them. These things are like candy. Oh, so good. So good. So yeah, that's say hi, guys.
Hi.
Okay. Wow. And let's see, I want to get over here really quickly and show you guys a couple other things. Some of these cherries are what's called bumblebees. You can see this, they're stripy like bumblebees. Some are orange, some are like a purple, and some are a yellow, so those will be mixed in with the cherry tomatoes. Purple beans, they're still struggling, but it is August, you know, not exactly bean season. What did I want to show you? So this fence here, getting overgrown with something. What is that something? Well, that something is this wonderful stuff right here. Where did they go? Where is it? Right here. Look at this. So, any day, can I get it in there? Yeah, there we go. Coming out of our ears, cucumbers. Now these are going to be big cucumbers for the first round. Those ones I showed you earlier are for later in the year. These big leaves here are a French heirloom pumpkin that's great for pies. Almost solid with barely any seeds in them, and they're just delightful. Second, third plantings of squash, tomatillos, ground cherries. We are harvesting, but it's just not enough for shares yet. Late cabbages, more of those shishito peppers, cilantro out here, and then this here, we have row after row after row after row. You can see the colors change too, it's pretty cool, of beans. So we've got yellow beans and purple beans and dragon's tongue beans and green beans, and all for you. We have so many so that we can can and freeze stuff for winter and make dilly beans. The last 4 rows here we were asked specially to plant for a producer at the Rockford market who cans beans and sells them all over northern Illinois here. It's the brand is Beepa. So I'll have a little bit more of his to put in too and harvest. So that's the deal. That is this week's farm walk. We're actually having some great weather with rain and with temperatures. Getting a little hot, not too cool, getting enough rain. And so everything's been good. So I'll see everybody soon. Read the newsletter because we've got peach orders up now, and apparently it's been really rough growing peaches this year, so there's a shortage. So we want to get those orders in and picked up as soon as we can. And we're also putting up a local meat producer who has put together some boxes, some barbecue meat boxes, so burgers and brats and cube steak for kebabs. So you get one of those boxes, you use our tomatoes and peppers and squash, and you got some great kebabs there. So that's the deal. See everybody soon.